for a day or whether I'm on for a year. At the end of the day, I sing for my dinner, and I kept my day job. And I think we brought something really unique to the radio. I think they expected a nice, quiet kind of corner candy store in the morning, and I gave them one, but we had Tony Soprano selling guns out of the back room, so to speak.
Yeah, but you know, they didn't give you enough time. I mean, you were just coming in after a legend. It's always hard to do. People don't often remember the guy who came after Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, you know what?
That's tough, right?
That's an excellent point, and I think the fellas who followed me were always their plan to put together the size contract, the heavy lifting size contract that the subsequent act must have done would have taken at least a year.
All right, now Opie and Anthony came in after you, and they're supposedly twin shock jocks. You were not considered a shock jock. You were just, you know, new to this whole profession. Are you angry at CBS? Are you angry at Les Moonves?
No, I think that they're probably a little bit towards trying to repeat the past, and I want to try and take something into the future. I think we had something really unique,
Did you ever
exciting.
hear from Les Moonves? Did he ever call you?
No, and none of the top doggies did. We were kind of, you could have named the show Inherit Howard Stern's Old Problems.
So you found out the morning you were leaving that you were out, right?
Word around the campfire had been around for months that some other fellas had their contracts that were taking a while to finish, and that we were just interim kind of a project. And I said, you know what, guys, what we're bringing is so unusual that you just think of it in terms of it's all going to add up to a ticket later or a T-shirt later, what have you. Consequently, now we have offers that are coming to us from both the satellite channels and in between. It's been a very interesting kind of turn of play.
Do you find it weird that Opie and Anthony are going to be on XM, on a satellite venue? They'll have the regular terrestrial broadcast, which is something you were kind of pitching for, something Howard Stern, I guess, will want. Maybe, maybe not. Do you find it odd?
Odd in what respect? I'm sorry.
That they're getting all this special treatment that you didn't get.
They're not on your show, and they're not on Leno Tomorrow, and they're not on The View, and they're not on DeGeneres, and they're not in Nashville, and they're not on every radio station in the free earth, and. I also am very curious as to what their ratings are currently compared to what we left with, because I think we were doing better than everybody else on the channel. So
now, I know you're good friends with Howard Stern. Do you think he made the right move? Obviously, it was the right financial move for him, but going off into the much more limited listenership of radio, paid radio?
You're thinking like a beginning chess player. If you think that he made a mistake, you can't just move the piece and wait to see what happens to it. He's thinking 7 moves ahead. He's already conquered, inarguably, just about every other department of popular in-the-home kind of entertainment there is. Television, radio, cinema, etc.
Did he ever call you for advice, offer you advice to help you out?
Oh, you know what? He had offered, but because of the legal kind of a balance that's happening here, and we have the same litigating attorney, Darth Vader and Sons, representing us, and they're currently threatening the faces over at CBS as we speak.
All right. Did you don't have to tell me this if you don't want, I'm curious, did you get your full contract payout when you left, or is that what you're fighting over?
That's the arm wrestling match here. You know, I understand that they may want to move on if their ratings or whatever the case may be might not be acceptable here, but we suspended at least a year's worth of touring, and with an album coming out in a big kind of a heavy lifting sort of a way, that's a lot of money. So those are the arguments that are taking place now.
All right, now you and Eddie Van Halen, are you talking to each other?
Well, define talking.
Hello.
I think paging Eddie Van Winkle, I think he's the only one of the camp who's still kind of resistant to the idea. Who knows what's going on with Eddie?
That would be a very lucrative reunion.
Yeah, and how hard is it to sing Dance the Night Away? I tell you, I've done it at 6 in the morning now.
You're saying the only one holding it up is Eddie?
Yeah, at this point in time. He's got issues. I don't know. What does Axl Rose have? Issues?
Yeah, all right. So, but you think you can clear those? Have you heard from his people talking to your people that a reunion's possible and you guys are going to make gobs of money?
I think it's inevitable. That material is as familiar as my country 'tis of purple mountains, particularly in warm weather when the summertime shows up here. And to avert that, I think, would be a sin.
All right, I had no idea what you just said, but it sounded brilliant. But let me ask you in all seriousness, what do you think of the way radio is today? I mean, you know what it's like to be on the air, in a microphone. You know what it's like to have your albums played on the air. Which is the more rewarding side of that microphone?
That's a very interesting question. It was a real disappointment for me not to be able to discuss candidly, artist to artist, with folks much like yourself. I found the best and the most fun times arguing and conversely discussing with the critics, the columnists, the reviewers, the photographers, the editors, etc. The celebrities were, what do they call it in page 6? Celebutards. Giving me what I call baseball talk.
All
no
right.
matter what you ask, well, my arm feels good, the ball's dropping just right. Just want to help the team, Dave. It's like talking to Jessica Simpson every morning.
Well, David, you didn't get
miss.
enough of a shot. Bottom line, you didn't get enough of a shot. But I wish you well with this new undertaking. Maybe the reunion comes. Thank you very much, David Lee Roth.
Thank you much.
All right, we will have more after this.
New album out today, 6606, appropriately titled Strumming with the Devil, the Southern Side.